Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast on a mission to inspire a world where food makes us better. Guys, this is gonna be one awesome week for all of us. Well, first of all, this is my birthday week, not the whole week, but Friday is my birthday. So I'm super excited about it. As always, doing a lot of reflections, thinking about the year that passed, the year ahead, analyzing all of my life experience and thinking about what I want to build in the future, what I want to focus on. So besides all that, this week I want to give you a really simple action plan to eat all of your nutrients required for optimal health, for optimal function of all of your organs, your brain, your muscles, your whole body, your hormones, everything. So really simple action plan. And so I'm going to tell you exactly how to define how much protein you need, how much fat, how many carbs and what kind, and what food groups to focus on to get all the other vitamins and minerals that are required, that are essential, basically meaning that we need to eat them to maintain optimal health for today and many years to come. So this week, don't skip any episodes. And if you do skip for some reason, then please come back and re-listen to these episodes, because again, each day is going to be very practical, very actionable, and there's going to be information that you need to know to build a better meal plan according to nutrition sites that we have developed to this day. So very amazing week. This is my gift to you guys. You're going to be in such a better position than 99.9% of people out there, knowing so much more about practical nutrition or applied nutrition, nutrition that you can put on your plate, nutrition that will ensure your health and performance for many years ahead. And of course, it's going to help you to prevent all the diseases that people are dying from or, suffering from diabetes to obesity to high blood pressure to metabolic syndrome to different hormonal issues and food sensitivities and different mental disorders. So there are so many things, and a lot of them, guys, are related to our fucked up food supply, and where we develop so many products, but we forgot to it's very hard to actually test, long-term for humans, but we put all this novelty into our food supply and we didn't test it. We didn't test it for long-term health consequences or results. We didn't test it for mental health. We didn't test it for gut health. We just made sure that it doesn't kill us right away, like it's not poisonous, and that's about it. That's what you can tell about our food supply. It's not poisonous. It's not going to kill you most of the time, right then and there. But other than that, most of our food supply is really kind of designed to screw up our long-term health. So today you're going to learn how to avoid all of that, guys, in a very simple way. And don't forget, in advance, if you have any questions, you need a little bit more detail, guys, please do reach out, Angela@createyourself.today, or on any social media where you find me, from Facebook to Instagram to TikTok to Twitter to Medium, to YouTube. I'm almost everywhere. So guys, today we're talking about protein, and it's going to be a quick episode with just math, but also food details. And if you have additional questions, please do reach out. So protein, you need to get protein, and not just for your muscles, not if you are an athlete. If you are a human being, you need protein. Protein is the most important nutrient. It's structural material that everything in your body, from your eyes to your, heart, to your reproductive organs, to your teeth, to your nails, everything is made of protein. And we need protein to run almost every single reaction in our body. So when we don't eat sufficient protein, it's not like you're not going to develop muscles. No, you're also gonna not have optimal health. Like your hair might suffer, your skin might suffer, your gut might suffer, and stomach, you might not have the best digestion. Your hormonal system might be out of balance. And hey, yeah, you're not gonna die if you always undereat your protein, but you certainly not gonna be performing well. And these days you hear from from a lot of longevity doctors that, you need to limit your protein because it activates certain pathways that seem to be like pro-aging, not anti-aging, right? But then most of those people are in their like 60s and 70s, and they're not active. And honestly, like there is no marker for longevity. And it's hard to say whether you are in your optimal health or you could do better. But from all my experience, guys, I worked with people and I researched and studied nutrition for over a decade now. And I can tell you that more protein is almost always better. And for almost everyone I worked with, they need to update their protein intakes. And again, that can manifest, like not eating enough protein can manifest into anything from not having enough energy, not having enough motivation, because your body can't make dopamine, that neurotransmitter that is required for you to feel like you gotta go. You actually need certain kinds of proteins to make that dopamine, that neurotransmitter of motivation. So the bottom line is, guys, more protein is almost always better, and you're not gonna get kidney damage or something else because you eat a diet high in protein. I mean, if your kidneys are already compromised and not functioning well, there might be an issue. But then again, anything can be an issue if some of your digestive organs or any organs in your body don't work well. And then the second thing, stick to whole foods. Unless you are a bodybuilder or a professional athlete or somewhere, close to that, stick to whole foods, or maybe you're vegan, we'll talk about that in a minute. But stick to whole foods and you're not going to damage anything. You're just going to feel better. Believe me, guys. Of course, quality of protein matters. And so, like a guideline, guys, quality of anything matters, right? So when I say protein, it doesn't mean go and eat sausages with a lot of additives and preservatives and added sugars and God knows what else. What I mean by that, focus on high quality protein foods, like grass-fed lamb and beef and pasture-raised chickens and pasture-raised eggs. For animal products, make sure that there are no antibiotics in their feed. That's why it's important to go for organic. It's important to go for grass-fed, just because some negative effects accumulate when you consume low-quality products. Then a fish, try to go wild, try to go for fish that is smaller and that accumulates less toxins. When it comes to what else? Chicken I mentioned, and all the other birds, pasture-raised. But that's like the highest level, right? The next level is to eat the same foods, but not focus on quality so much of being organic, but do focus on these foods not being processed, so not made into sausages, any kind of, the best meats are fresh meats, not cured ones. So you get fresh meat, you cook it in a healthy way, and you eat it. Meat and shellfish and fish and poultry and eggs and everything. So that's the best next thing. And then the worst kind of protein is when it's processed, heavily processed, and it doesn't even it doesn't even resemble protein anymore. And there is sometimes, you buy a sausage, you look at it, and there is 20% of meat and the rest is the other stuff, from potato starch to ingredients that I don't even know where they come from. So quality of protein matters just like of any other food, guys. So remember, quality does matter, but always look at your situation, at what you can do, at your budget, at your, time and energy commitment, everything, and see what you can actually do, what you can do better. Don't be in that situation where you or if it's not perfect, I just not gonna care. No, if you can't, again, afford or can find organic meat or chicken or whatever, then buy regular ones. Don't go and buy pizza because you can't buy organic chicken. Don't be, that all or nothing person. It's never good for any area of your life. So always just try to do better when you know you can and it's possible in your life. Then do better. When it's not possible, then just do the next best thing. So that's the main takeaway for all the foods and nutrition information that we're gonna learn in this week. So protein, the amount, guys, your body weight in kilograms, multiply that by 2.2 to 2.2. That's a good number, at least by 2. If you're more active, especially by 2.2. And your body weight in pounds, multiply that by 1 or 0.8. So between that 0.8 to 1, the more active you are, usually the more you need. Also, guys, you usually tend to need more. If you're very athletic, if you have workouts that last more than 2 hours, like for example, longer bike rides, especially on those days, I would add at least 30-40 grams of protein, maybe as a drink intra-workout or something like that, but I'm not going to focus on athletes a lot here. So for an average human being who has, normal job, not an athlete, who is active but not super active, you want to consume at least 2 to 12.2 grams of protein per 1 kilogram of body weight, or 0.8 to 1 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. Now, guys, if you have a lot of weight to lose and your ideal body weight is like, 10, 20, 30 kilos less than what you are now, then you want to multiply those numbers by your ideal body weight. So let's say if you're 200 kilos and, well, maybe not 200, but if you are 100 kilos and you want to be 70, then multiply that amount of protein by 70, not 100 where you are today. And now if you're building muscle and you want to increase your body weight, then you want to multiply your target body weight by those numbers, 2.2 for kilograms and 1 by weight in pounds. So again, if you are overweight a lot, then you want to shoot for your ideal body weight. And if you want to increase your body weight, build some muscle, then again, you want to shoot for your ideal body weight that in this scenario going to be bigger than your actual weight. So that's when it comes to amounts. And that most of the authorities in nutrition, especially sports and athletic nutrition, they recommend this. And the only people who recommend low protein diet are, again, people who research longevity. But again, they do not have a lot of data. That's why their data is weaker than of all the sport nutrition authorities in different countries. And by authorities, by the way, guys, I mean those bodies that are recognized by governments of this country and that all their numbers are based on scientific research in humans. So that's when it comes to numbers. Now, foods. You want to get that protein from protein-rich foods. And what, guys, when you hear protein-rich foods, what it should mean is that per portion, per serving, let's say 3.5 ounces or 100 grams of food, it should have more protein than fat or carbs. So, people on plant-based diets, you hear, beans are high in protein. So I'm holding in my hands a can of beans, of garbanzo beans, actually, or chickpeas. And so it says on the can, per 100 grams of 3.5 ounces, it has 25 grams of carbs, with some fiber, of course, but when it comes to protein, it's only 7.6, so 25 to, let's say, 8, right? So you can see that beans are not protein-rich foods. They are carbohydrate-rich foods. Yes, there is more protein than in a lot of other plant-based foods, like, let's say, spinach or broccoli, but they're still carbohydrate-rich foods. They're not protein-rich foods. And this is a difference. So protein-rich food needs to have more protein in grams per serving than any other nutrients. So let's say I also bought today lamb, pieces of lamb, cut lamb, like, what do you call it? So lamb per 100 grams, that one has 23 grams of protein and 14 grams of fat. So that cut is quite fatty. But even then, 23 grams of protein compared to 14 grams of fat, and carbs, of course, are non-existent in lamb. So that's protein-rich foods. So if you take any food, even if you take eggs, people think, they're rich in proteins. They kind of are, but they're also quite rich in fats. So eggs compared to lamb, let's say, or chicken or fish, not really that rich in protein. One egg has 6 grams of protein, and I actually need to look up the amount of fat in one egg. And so guys, we have 5 grams of fat in one egg. So 6 grams of protein, 5 grams of fat. So it's kind of, in the middle, right? But one egg just 6 grams of protein, so I wouldn't call it super high rich. In order to get your amount per meal, about 30 grams, you'll need to eat like 5 eggs, right? So protein-rich foods. Let's get back to plant-based foods. That's why, guys, also, they say, some plant-based eaters think that nuts and seeds, or like things like chia seeds or hemp seeds, are high in protein. Well, they are compared to, again, to spinach and broccoli, but there is more fat per serving of nuts and seeds than there is protein. And in order for you to eat enough protein to satisfy your needs from those foods, you're going to be eating a whole lot of fat and calories that for most of you is not desirable. So when it comes to plant-based diets, the only protein-rich foods are really soy-based foods, or those plant-based substitutions that different companies like Impossible Burger or Beyond Burger, there are so many these days, create. Like those foods, most of them would have more protein per serving than carbohydrates or fat, but not all of them at all. So you also need to be careful. So the only traditional, really protein-rich foods in plant-based kingdom are soy-based product, things like naturally fermented tofu or tempeh is even better. What else? Seitan, I think but that one is gluten-based, so you wouldn't eat that if you are trying to avoid gluten. But also seitan, look it up. It's a high protein product made of some wheat production. So I'm not sure about the specifics of food manufacturing, but yes, seitan, tofu, tempeh, those are the only truly protein rich foods that have more protein per serving than of any other nutrient. But also be careful with ingredients, because sometimes they fry it and add some additional ingredients, so you might end up eating more fat and carbs at the end. But yeah, those are protein-rich foods, the ones that have more protein per serving than of any other nutrient. So, for example, if you're curious if that specific food has more protein than anything, then Google it. And also, guys, be careful with those protein-rich bars, like fitness bars or, bars for bodybuilding, or just healthy protein-rich bars. A lot of those bars have more sugar and more fat per calorie than they have protein. I would call them protein-rich candy bars. No, maybe not even protein-rich, but candy bar enriched with protein. That's what I would call them, because they, again, have more sugar more often than not than protein. When it comes to omnivores, so you have a lot of variety, guys. My last takeaway for you for today for omnivores: eat all of the protein-rich foods, things like mussels, like oysters, other shellfish, different kinds of fish, not just salmon, but different kinds of fish, and not just tuna, but also sardines and mackerel and sea bass. And there are so many fish. I'm not even that of not knowledgeable about all the kinds of fish, but there is so much, and so much shellfish. Also, don't just go for beef, go for lamb, for goat meat, whatever you can find. For chicken livers, organ meats is amazing when it comes to vitamins and minerals. It's the highest in vitamins and minerals, protein-rich food. Then don't just maybe go for chicken eggs, go for duck eggs, for quail eggs, for all the other kinds of eggs. So dairy products, a lot of yogurts are richer in protein, and some products are naturally richer, like skyr, for example, Icelandic yogurt, quite rich in protein. So go for different varieties, because with different varieties of foods, and you guys, I'm going to repeat this many times this week, different kinds of foods would have different nutrients, and the more variety you include, the less there is chance that you're going to run deficient in any one nutrients. So include a variety. I personally, what I do every day of the week, I eat different kinds of protein. So today I'm going to be eating salmon and some sardines. Tomorrow I'm going to be eating chicken livers. The day after I'm going to be eating shellfish. I just got some new shellfish that I've never cooked before, so I'm just going to be eating that. Then I'm going to eat some lamb. Then I'm not sure yet what I'm going to eat then, but probably some, I don't know, eggs or something different. Maybe then some duck. We'll see. So you can see that I just buy different kinds of protein for each day of the week. And that's how I make sure I eat a variety of different foods. What you buy, guys, you're gonna eat. So when you are shopping for the week ahead, just buy different protein for every day of the week. As simple as that, right? And that's it for today, guys. So the main takeaways from today, you need your protein. You need optimal amount of protein, and to make sure that all of your organs and system function optimally, and not just your muscles, but again, your brain, your hormones, and everything. And so the optimal amount of protein seems to be for body weight in kilograms, multiply that by 2.2 is even better for people who are more athletic. For guys, maybe even higher, 2.3, 2.4, especially if you are into building muscle. For body weight in pounds, multiply your body weight by 1 or 0.8. Again, if you're a female, smaller, maybe 0.8. If you're a guy, then probably 1. And if you're building muscle and athletic, probably 1.2. So multiply that. And if you are overweight a lot, shoot for your ideal body weight. If you are increasing your body mass and building muscle, then shoot for your ideal body weight. And the last, a couple of more takeaways. Remember that protein-rich foods is food where you have more grams of protein than of any other nutrient like fat or carbohydrate per serving, right? So beans and nuts, they're not protein-rich foods. Beans are carbohydrate-rich foods, and nuts and seeds are fat-rich foods. And so make sure that you understand that. And truly plant-based protein-rich foods are things like seitan, tofu, tempeh, then nut chia seeds. And the last but not least, quality matters, guys. It will define the health outcome. If your protein comes from sausages, or your protein comes from grass-fed lamb or beef, and a lot of shellfish and wild seafood, that makes a difference, makes a huge difference. And that's it, guys. So protein, now you know how much you need. Now you know what foods to get it from. Now you know the best sources of protein. Now it's time to put it into action. So a simple way to do it: find a place where you can get your high quality protein. Usually these days, any store would have better quality foods. Just go for unprocessed protein rich foods. Get a variety of them for the week ahead, and you're going to be golden. If you need to multiply the exact amount of protein for you, if you need help with that, please do reach out. I'm going to help you out and let you know what are, the amounts in different foods. And that's it, guys. Share this episode with one another person who is equally interested in improving themselves through nutrition, and also equally confused about what they hear in different media about protein and other nutrients and foods and diets. Please do share this episode with that person, and then practice together what you learn, what you hear, and let me know how you, what you're learning from this episode, how useful they are. Please do let me know. I appreciate the feedback. And guys, have an awesome week ahead. Stay tuned, and till next time, as usual, eat better daily.